everybody, we'll be doing a deck guide for the newest mini expansion for Irelia Azir. The expansion isn't out yet, this is the deck kind of prepared on the early access client. Why do we want to play Azir with Irelia at the first place? I believe Azir, you can play MF and Azir, I believe will be the best combinations of Irelia. So far I didn't test MF yet, but Azir felt like a really solid win con, because what happens if you run the MF version? If you don't draw MF, the whole chunk of your win con is gone. Where the Azir version, if you look at the deck, Azir is a win con, Emperor Dias is win con, and the Marshal is a win con. With every one of these cards, a Blade Dance mechanic works extremely well. Where if you don't have MF, it's way worse on the board. So it's just about consistency. The deck is way more consistent. Yeah. Why we have certain card choices, like Syncopation. Very good to push damage, doesn't allow your opponent to trade that well or kill your units, like with, say, Merciless Hunter, which is a new card, protects your unit from it. Also, it helps you doing the trades, like especially if you have Irelia on board, you are attacking opponents trying to do efficient block on the one of the Blades or the Sand Soldier. Then you can swap in Irelia, make a good trade with the quick attack. Damage or value?
Well, the
I'm not
Lucia's
gonna
not gonna
I'm
kill
not
you.
gonna-
I am worried about the damage. Yeah, I'm worried about the damage.
I'm not going to smoke you, I'm gonna just go for the value. Of lethal.
Yeah. Alright. Wait, my Yasuo died. Now I really can't win.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even if you draw Yasuo, you have to block with him, and then you just don't lose him.
Retreat is amazing with the new card with Dancing Droplet. You'll be keeping it mainly, depends on the matchups. Like in some in the matchups where opponent doesn't run too many removals on your back row champions, you'll be trying out to cycle this on Droplet, or trying to get more value out of a Dancer or Blossoming Blade, just with the Retreat, yeah? This is mainly against the removal deck and the decks that can challenge or make your units vulnerable. So you want to protect your back row units, which is Azir. You don't need to protect that much Irelia. Usually Azir and Marshal are the ones that you want to heavily protect. Irelia is like the third most important in this deck. Lead and follow saves the same purpose. Homecoming is really interesting because it took me a while to get into this. There will be a lot of counter decks to this. And Homecoming makes those counter matchups actually 50-50. Like, Overwhelm is a counter matchup to this. Homecoming makes this favorite, actually, if you draw at least one. Dragons are not the best, but again, whenever they try to deploy Dragon, you have a Dancing Droplet, you can recall it. To support Homecoming, we could be running Knopify, because against stuff like Valve, you'll be trying to Homecoming your Droplet, then opponent can answer with single combat Valve Fist, then you would love to have Knopify to follow up. It will be something that you'll need to decide based on the meta, what we'll be seeing first day. I don't know yet, this is the all-around version, the first iteration that we are going into, and this is the base we'll be making deck from. So basically the cards you can consider to the deck is Greenglade Duo. Greenglade Duo would be addition against, if the Vlad Brown becomes the meta with the Scargrunts and you need elusives to push the damage. And then you could shift the deck towards Twin Discipline, Greenglade Duo, Shadow Assassin, just more towards the elusive win con, not the actual units. But again, depends what we'll see on the ladder. I tried the Field Musician, it's too slow. You don't need card draw. On the turn 4 you want to do something significant. You want to develop a threat. You don't want to develop a card, like a tool that draws a cards. It just doesn't fit the deck. Yeah. We run Deny instead of Right. In this deck, obviously you don't want to kill any unit, and you don't want to destroy your mana. So Deny is obviously a choice instead of the Right. Navori Conspirator. Again, depends what you're gonna be seeing on the ladder. If you'll see a lot of other elusive decks, if you'll see again decks that go really well into the combat with your units and you won't need to chip it out somehow damage, then you can consider Navori Conspirator with perhaps the 2-1 elusive 1 mana rat. And it combos well, extremely well with the Dancing Droplet, because you can drop Dancing Droplet turn 1 into Dalviri Conspirator, which nets you. This doesn't cost you any mana because Dancing Droplet has Attune, and you are drawing a card, which is very, very strong play. Yeah. And the last card that people ask me about why I'm not running is Sparring Student. Sparring Student is just not necessary. It's just a win more card when you are already ahead, like when you have your win cons online. Therefore, it's not needed. Like when you'll be playing Sparring Student, you are already winning, and you'd rather have cards which help you win, not to win more the matchups. Yeah. So about the matchups, the bad matchup should be Vlad Braum. Against those, you can take Elusives and Twin Discipline. Against Nasus Trash, we have Homecoming, we have Deny. You can take in Nopify instead of something. Against Zillion decks, we can expect probably Zillion Nasus, Zillion Gohard. Against those, we are already quite good because we have a lot of combat tricks to protect our units. We have Deny. Against Trundle Lysandra, we are extremely favored because they can't really deal with our threats. Even whenever they try to remove, we have the cheap combat tricks and the redevelop, and our threats are very tanky. Marshall has 6 HP, Azir has 5 HP, and they can't deal with the Dias. And those are the threats that are very good into the Lysandra Trundle, which I don't think that should be visible on the ladder that much, but still can. So it's worth mentioning. Yeah, and into other aggro matchups, you are looking for, in terms of Mulligan, you are looking for Dunekeeper to block them, the Droplet, to trade. You never keep Irelia in hand. You most of the time you always keep Emperor Dias, Azir, and you hard Mulligan for those. Other than that, you never, like, you don't keep Reborn, you don't keep Irelia, you keep always Hunter. And you keep this only in case of playing against greedy decks. And yeah, combat tricks are matchup based. Like, you know what spells opponent playing, you know if they are running challengers, you know if they are running vulnerable units. If so, when you have already decent hand, let's say Azir and Parodias, you can even keep Retreat or Syncopation to protect those units from those. Yeah, so this is, guys, the first iteration. This is most likely gonna change based on what we're gonna be seeing on the ladder. But for now, hope you're gonna enjoy the deck. Good luck on the ladder, chat. Good luck on the ladder, guys.
Alright. Oh yeah, dude, that card is very strong. I feel like the fact that that card's 0, like, really, they're kind of making fun of cards like Jarvan that actually have to work for things. Like, why is the card 0?
Oh god.
It's 0, and she gets multiple of them per round. So Jarvan, let me get this straight, guys.
Yeah.
Jarvan's impossible to level. His card costs 3 mana.
You sure about
and
this
he
block?
gets 1 per round. Irelia's costs nothing.
Are you sure about those blocks?
Am I sure? Well, I have to block.
Yeah, but you're blocking it correctly.
No, you could just always let it resolve.
No,
you have
block
to take the
1/1. No, block 1/1. Spacey use on the Marshall. You will save more
Well,
HP.
no, because you can just swap the Marshall.
No, you can swap
No,
on
you can
Irelia
just,
with an ally.
let it resolve for max damage is the problem. If I block here, you can just let it resolve.
No,
Why wouldn't you just let it resolve if I
Okay,
block like
do
this?
the other block. Do the other block. I'll show you why.
Well, you're gonna swap these two, but it's gonna be like if I'm gonna take less damage if I block here, no matter what.
Are you worried about the damage or value?
Well,
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna.
I am worried about the damage. Yeah, I'm worried about the damage.
I'm not going to smoke you. I'm gonna just go for the value. You just saved more HP this way.
Oh, it can only swap Irelia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that. It's true. If it can only swap Irelia, that's a big deal. Yeah.